Fluent and Chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed. 4-quarter heat or a 2-minute drill. If you can't handle the truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
What the closest thing to perfection will that make you?
Stats don't lie, we just let us build. This is real talk sports, welcome to Fluent and Chill. Fluent and Chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets weighed.
4-quarter heat or the 2-minute drill. Can you even see me?
Yep, you hot.
Can you see me? I can see you. Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what's.
There it is. When you put your bifocals on, Tom.
Man, I'm too old. I can't see.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Okay. You know what? We normally chat, but when we get a super chat, like bam, we need to kick it off right off the bat. I was at the Raptor game yesterday. So you know, G Cuts is in BC, and the Raptors were playing in Vancouver yesterday, which is, in case you're wondering how the hell did that happen. We need a team. Oh, do we? Or you? Because I'm a Laker fan.
What's wrong with the team you got?
Oh, he knows what's wrong. They stink. How many times do I got to tell you guys that the Raptors stink? And you keep listening. You keep listening to that no accent, less ethnic dub wannabe second tier. It's like they keep trying to replace me on PC with these dudes. They're not me. They might make me the next best thing, but not quite me. Yes, I'm the real Fluent. Yes, I'm the real Fluent. All you other fake Fluents, you're just not that fluent. The Raptors aren't going to be good. Remember to have a bet? I don't know if you were on the panel that day. Oh, I think he means we need a team like Vancouver needs a team. You had a team. You lost it. They went to Memphis.
Oh, you need a team up in BC. You don't need a team like.
Oh, I thought you meant you need a team. I was like, you have a team. You lost it.
Right.
You let them go to Memphis. That's why Memphis is in the. That's why Memphis is in the. That's why Memphis is in the West.
Yeah.
Because they were Vancouver. But the Raptors, I have that bet. I don't even remember what the bet is with Penn about the Raptors finishing. I think it's below 500 or something. So he's going to look good. He's going to come out with a Now I'm More Fluent shirt on the panel after the season's over. So we have a lot to go over, like a lot. Do you want to start with the big stories? Do you want to start with the small stories? Do you want to
from the top?
Okay, I'm just going to go through the list.
Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. And you know what I mean when I say get to it, because I got tricked. I did.
Okay, so so you want to start there. So you want to start there. And let me tell you, I didn't get tricked.
I did.
I didn't get tricked. I told everybody that would listen. He's not retiring. He's not announcing his retirement. He's going to do something stupid. I said like Taco Tuesday, National Taco Day, or another how he tricked y'all last time with the Amazon Prime days. And you guys don't listen to me when I tell you. He's not going to do it like that. And so he's such, and I'll say it again, he is such an attention whore that he can't just really, now's the time to it's for Hennessy, but I'm going to take the worst thing I ever did. Let's be honest. The worst thing he ever did was the decision. That was the stupidest piece of PR ever. And so I'm going to recreate it. And these morons are going to buy it and be like, oh, is he retiring? Oh, no, he's not retiring. Are you crazy? He's a top 10 player in the NBA. Why the hell would he retire?
Because I don't want to play basketball no more. Because I don't want to.
He does want to play basketball. Let me tell you something.
Okay.
You're not going to like this. Let me tell you something. He is not Michael Jordan in the sense that when Michael Jordan retired, there wasn't the NBA wasn't in 98, so the second time. The NBA wasn't in a very good place. What do I mean by that? Well, the next year, there was a strike. They only played 50 games. They didn't even have an all-star game.
That's
so
correct.
they weren't. Kobe hadn't ascended yet. And nobody else was really ready to carry on that mantle. Plus, by that point, Miss Vicky's delicious. By that point, the Jordan shoe brand and clothing brand was so huge, that if he never played another second, forget Washington, like if he never played another second of basketball, which some might have been a good idea, we would have been talking about him to this day. Greatest player ever, 10 scoring titles, 6-0 in the finals, 6 MVPs, and $30 million a year. That was equivalent to 103% of the salary cap. Add all those things together, the dude was a global icon. The dream team, it doesn't matter how he played. The dream team was Jordan going on tour and making the NBA a global phenomenon. We are going to talk about his influence, his shoes, his stuff forever. Here's the problem with LeBron. If LeBron retires tomorrow from basketball, other than the debate of who's the GOAT, why are we going to talk about him?
Because of everything that he did on and off the court. Let's not talk about James like he didn't do anything. Okay?
I didn't say he didn't do anything. I said, what are we going to talk about other than the GOAT debate?
So let's talk about other things. Let's talk about socially how big of a deal he is. We'll talk about, because with Jordan, like, I can appreciate the idea of the sneakers, but what I'm doing is I'm getting off the track here. I want to make sure that we're clear. I got tricked. I thought this was something else. Yes, I did. I 100% got tricked, and I was not happy about that. I was expecting a retirement speech. I was expecting the game. Season's about to start in 2 weeks. Yo, I'm out after this year. This is all I got. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to go out still being able to play. I want to go out on top. We did not hold Malone at 39 to this standard. We didn't hold Robert Parrish to this standard. We didn't hold Jabbar in 88 to this standard. We didn't hold any of these guys to the standard that we hold James to. So because of that, I don't know if I can still keep playing and compete for NBA championships as the man anymore. And I don't want to be a rotation player. I don't want to just play to play. If I'm going to play, I'm going to play to compete for championships, and I'm not really sure if I'm still that good. I'm not sure if I'm still that good. I am still good, but I'm not sure if I'm still that good. With that being said, he didn't do that. He saw a chance to make some more bread, which James is the ultimate salesman, the ultimate pitch man. He saw an opportunity to make some money, and it worked. When he did the decision, yes, it was probably the worst thing that he had done in terms of optics, because he ended up alienating a lot of people. He did donate all the money and all the proceeds that came from that, which was $5 million. He donated all of it to the Boys and Girls Club. Nobody talks about that. That's the kind of stuff that I think about when I talk about impact on society. He did that. That did happen.
But nobody talks about that about Jordan either. Dude builds hospitals and no one even knows.
And he just started doing that. Like
no.
Yes. That hospital. That hospital that he built in North Carolina, that was just over the last 5 years. So don't make it sound like that was 15 years ago. No, it wasn't. It was not.
You think he hasn't done anything charitable in other than
I
that?
am not saying that he has not done anything charitable.
But my point is, whether it's Jordan, LeBron, or other, nobody talks about that stuff anyways. I'm just saying that's not specific to LeBron.
Okay, so if that's the case, so what are we talking about with Jordan outside the GOAT debate? In sneakers. What else are we talking about?
No. That's my point. Is because of the sneakers.
That's it.
We talk about Jordan. We talk about Jordan every day because even if there was no GOAT debate, we'd still talk about Jordan. What I'm saying is LeBron has basketball. That's what LeBron is. That's what he's known for. Whether like for the charitable stuff, that that. I'm not saying he doesn't do that. A lot of players do that. My point is, when you're gone, that's all we're going to have to talk about him.
No, we're not, because he still has things like this production company where he produces movies, where he produces TV shows, which we still talk about to this day. The stuff that's going on Showtime. Not just that, he did build a school. To your point, that's a big deal that he did that. So
Sure.
his son plays in the NBA. James doesn't have anything scandalous going on. We'll talk about the kind of guy that he was. It's not like James is going to go away.
So you're telling me if LeBron retired today, he's not playing tomorrow, you think he's going to come on this show and we're going to talk about his Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, we will. And you know why?
We've never talked about that before, ever.
And we never talked about Jordan's shoes.
Yes,
we'll talk about that.
There's what? There's a whole culture and shoe, and there's so many.
Okay,
there's shoes. We talk about that all the time.
There's a difference between talking about that stuff. When have we talked about Jordan shoes, Tone? The Jordan brand. Like when we talked about sweatsuits. How often do we talk about Jordan gear? You know what we talk about? We talk about Jordan's mid-range game. That's what we talk about. We talk about Jordan's ability to finish around the rim.
We don't talk about your we don't talk about your J's when you brought on your collection of J's that you have. We never talked about that before. You want me to run back the episode?
Okay, that was years ago that we did that.
But years ago, but still, that was 20 years after his retirement.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, other than basketball, which is fine, other than basketball, when he retires, he's not going to be a day-to-day conversation. And LeBron James loves attention. That's why he did the first decision. That's why he did this decision for Hennessy. That's why he did that stupid thing that he did with Amazon a few months back. Yes, he is a pitchman. He is a salesman, and he wants to be in the spotlight. That's why he did this. It wasn't about retirement, like you got tricked. It's he wants to stay relevant. So what does that mean? That means he's going to continue to play basketball well beyond when you think he should retire, because he wants to stay relevant. And
so let's discuss that.
Let's be very clear. I'm not blaming him. If I was a top 10 player, I would blame too. That's what it sounds like. And let me just say one thing. There's these people in the comments too. They've created this Zesty Jeffrey thing, and I'm curious. Zesty kind of insinuates a certain
flavor.
Okay. LeBron fans literally, not figuratively, so if you don't know the difference, literally have created love songs about LeBron. There is no zestier fan base than the LeBronaholics. None. My glorious king LeBron? Give me a... Stop it. Stop. And then to call me a Zesty Jeffrey is even crazier, because I don't even like the song. Period. With that being said, let's get back to the topic. We got way off topic. You really thought he was going to announce his retirement? I want to understand what you mean.
I did think that, and to your point about us not talking about him, the fact that he's been around for as long as he's been around, I feel like we're coming up on that time. And this is not a situation where James is going to play 5 more years. He's not going to stick around for 6 more years. I said to you over the summer, Tone, that I thought that this season coming up, I wouldn't be surprised if after this season he wrapped it up. I would not be surprised. So for us to have a decision, not really thinking that this was a ploy to push a product, that was the furthest thing from my mind. The season is starting 2 weeks from now. With the season starting soon, I saw Doc do it. I saw Kobe Bryant do it early in the season. He ends up saying, I don't want to play anymore. More times than not, when guys decide to retire, it's before the season starts. And James, who will be 41 years old in December, my thought process was he's having a press conference about this. He's probably going to wrap it up. He's probably going to say, this is my last season. I'm done after this year, which I'm totally fine with, Tone. And the reason why I'm fine with it is because I'm not ridiculous enough to think that this dude is going to be around forever. I don't. I'm not one of these, he's going to play for 5 more years. He's going to play for 6 more years. No, we're coming up on that time. Like, the time is, if not now, it's within the next 12 to 24 months that I think that we're going to see that. So with that being said, I thought that I was getting a class act. Yo, I'm wrapping it up after this season. I put in 23 years. I've done everything that I could possibly do. There's no reason for me to keep playing. I've done the best that I can possibly do. I want to thank everybody for everything that they've done for me, and I'm out. Excuse me. That's what I thought I was getting. But instead I got a Hennessy ad. Instead I got him pushing a product and looking like I have no intentions of retiring anytime soon. And I'm thinking to myself, he understands the masses, and people know that at any point, I can get people's attention, and I can get people's attention with anything that I do. And James is in that space, like a musician, like a movie star. I can get people's attention with anything that I say. If I do something outlandish, I can get people's attention with it. James is at that space now where we're coming up on the end of his career, and he's still, in terms of popularity, at his highest. So I can get people's attention with just about anything that I do. And the fact that I'm, coming up on retiring, to insinuate that I'm retiring, that's going to cause a buzz. And it did with me. And I thought that that's what I was going to see, but I didn't.
Like I said, I told you, I knew he wasn't going to retire. I knew he wasn't announcing his retirement. And I keep saying, I think he wants to play with Bryce. I think he wants to play with Bryce. But I always add in one other thing that people tend to overlook. When I say that, what team do I say will they do it on?
Vegas.
Mm-hmm. I think he's going to play, and these things that he's doing, these partnerships with Amazon, with Hennessy, all this stuff is really to build up. There needs to be capital. There needs to be relationships. There needs to be business tie-ins, because he can't afford to buy an NBA team. As much as everyone thinks, oh my God, he's rich, he ain't that rich. Okay, he cannot afford to buy an NBA team. An NBA team, the Lakers just went for $10 billion. His net worth he doesn't even have 20% of it. Okay?
Nope. I don't have that.
So, and just so we're clear, net worth doesn't mean that's how much money he has in the bank. That means if he sold everything to his name, he'd have 1.5 billion. Nothing to sneeze at, let's be clear, but not enough to buy a team. So he needs to create these partnerships. I think he's going to play and transition straight from player into face of an owner of this team. How do I know what kind of money he has? Because I'm not an idiot fan, John. Because you can look it up. It's pretty simple. And because it's posted everywhere. It's not pocket watching when someone advertises it. And it doesn't take a genius, which you're not, to understand that the Lakers sold for $10 billion. He doesn't have $10 billion. It's not rocket science, John.
Right.
So, but that's what I think. I think, and I've said it from the beginning, I've said it for a couple of years now, is that I think it's a transition from player right into Vegas ownership. And the reason for that, which makes complete sense, stay relevant, because the point I was trying to make earlier is because when he drops off, when we drop off,
right,
or he retires, there's a drop off in popularity because you're not front and center every single day. There's a drop. He won't be relevant in today's NBA. However, if he stays, he's still the face of the league. Until he retires, he's still part of the reason the NBA is probably telling him don't go. He's still the face of the league. There isn't another bigger name. So if he's the face of the league until he has ownership, that automatically creates instant credibility for the Vegas team. It creates instant ticket sales, merchandising, all that kind of stuff. He would be foolish as a businessman, not as a basketball player. He would be foolish as a businessman not to blend one right into the other.
Well, here's my question to you, though, Tone. My issue is, like you just said, he's got about $1.5 billion, but he's got about $1.5 billion in terms of net worth. That includes the houses, cars, jewelry, portfolio, all of that stuff. The Lakers ended up going for $10 billion. What does it cost to get an NBA team today? If I had to guess off the top of my head, like if I wanted to buy an NBA team, it would probably cost anywhere between $3 to $5 billion to get an NBA team. So my question to you, Tone, is one, how much longer is he going to play? That's number one in your estimation. How much longer do you think he's going to be around?
I unfortunately will have to answer your question with a question. When will the league expand?
I think the league expands within the next 12 to 24 months. I don't think. I think within the next 2 years we'll have a team in Seattle and a team in Vegas. Within the next 12 to 24 months.
Then that's how long he plays.
And in that time, it basically took him a lifetime to accumulate a net worth of $1.5 billion. Where the hell am I going to get another $3 billion in 2 years? Rich people do something very similar to poor people, but they're just smart enough than rich people. What I mean when I say that, Tone, is we get other people to pay for our things.
100%.
100%. I'm not using my brand. I'm going to get you to pay for this. So to your point, to bring up Amazon, to bring up Hennessy, okay, well, we're going to get all of these people in terms of revenue. We're going to get all of them to pay for this. Now, I don't think it's going to accumulate to $1 billion over the next 2 years, but we're going to get them to pay for this, which means he's probably going to have to take on a partner. And sounds to me like
100%. He's going to be a minority owner.
That's what I'm thinking.
But they learned, and just so you know, the going rate right now is between $4 and $5 billion, plus a $2 billion kicker that has to go. There's an expansion fee that goes out, that gets divided up by the other teams. So it's going to cost a total of $7 billion. You're going to get the city of Las Vegas. Yeah. You're going to get the city of Las Vegas to build you the arena, or you're going to use the one that the Golden Knights, the hockey team, uses. So there's going to be some rent, right? He has the deal with Hennessy. So Hennessy's going to be a sponsor. They're going to pay so that it's exclusive Hennessy throughout the building. Amazon, let's be honest, Jeff Bezos can write a check tomorrow for $7 billion and cover it all. But what did he learn? Listen, the one thing I always give LeBron credit for is he learns from the past. So when he saw the 27th out of 28 teams, Washington Wizards in attendance, go from losing money, okay, faster than they could say it, to, hey, we threw, one-legged, shouldn't have been playing Michael Jordan on the court, to second in attendance, and now they're profitable. He's like, well, I'm still at the top of my game. If I can keep going, because, if you stop playing, people always argue with me. Oh, fresh legs. He took 3 years off. No, go talk to a doctor.
That's not true.
It's easier to stay playing than it is to stop and start again. So if he keeps playing at this level, keeps his body in shape, which he clearly does a great job of, he can transition. Boom. Vegas is going to be an automatic draw with LeBron. Now, he can't be a player and an owner. So that's the one thing that we're going to have to figure out.
Conflict of interest. Right.
Yeah. Is he going to have like a side deal where, whatever? Or is it going to be, no, he's just going to be the face of the franchise. And that's where I say he brings in his boys. That's where it's like, I'm going to be at every game. I'm the face of this team. Right. And here you can see the next generation of Jameses. And I think that's the draw. Whether they're great players or not, I don't think it matters. So I think that would be the smart business play to do.
So with that being said, Tone, why would he still be playing? Because I'm not going to be. I'm the kind of money that we're talking about accumulating over the next 2 years. I'm not going to be able to generate that. I'm not. And to your point, to be a minority owner, I'm going to have to kick in something really serious. And I don't have that. So what am I still doing here?
No, but he does. He has the most valuable thing. Himself.
His face. Right. I get
face.
That part. Yes.
Because the thing is, why keep playing? Because if he stops playing, league ratings go down. Value of the league goes down. TV deals go down. Value of his own brand goes down. Now, it might not be significant, but he doesn't have the merchandise sales that Jordan did. Jordan stays relevant because everybody even the guys that say they hate Jordan, you see them walking around with Jordan hoodies. So it's still there in front of your face, right? And then deal with the NBA. So every other team has a logo, has the Jumpman on their jersey. LeBron doesn't have that. What he has is, I'm playing. I'm going to play for 23, 24, 25, whatever years. That's his brand. So that's where I think that's what he has to do, is he has to keep playing to keep NBA ratings up, to keep the TV deal up and to keep interest in what he does next. And then he'll transition it because you know what's going to happen. The second he transitions to ownership, right, he does a great job of marketing. They're going to have the podcasts and the shows and the commercials and the deals with Hennessy and Amazon and like you could probably buy your tickets and a drone from Amazon is going to fly it to your house and like right and maybe they get a naming rights deal from Amazon. So they changed I don't know what the hell the Las Vegas arena is named, but now it's going to be the Amazon
Mobile Center,
Prime Dome or whatever. Who knows, right? So there's so many things that they can do. But if he stops playing, again, it doesn't go away. But if he stops playing, there's a dip. There's a dip.
He becomes less relevant. I definitely get that part. But what we haven't tackled, Tone, is we haven't tackled the elephant in the room, which is I'm coming up on that time, and I'm not going to have enough revenue, and I'm not going to what you're talking about. If I'm going to be a minority owner, James is not somebody who's just a face. No, I have to be involved in this. The face is, from what you're telling me, the face is like.
When I say minority, just to be clear, when I say minority, I don't mean like when Jay-Z bought into the Nets.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, for 0.7%. No, they're going to say, hey, this is the way they'll cut a deal. And we've cut deals like this in other businesses. It's sign on, and your sign-on bonus is, I'll call it 10% because it needs to be significant. It's 10%. Okay, 10%, and you're the president of basketball operations. So he gets a fancy title. If you last 3 years, that goes to 12. If you last 5, it goes to 15. And there's stock options or ownership options that he can purchase. And just if you look at even Jordan's deal, when Jordan bought the at the time, I guess, the Bobcats, right? He wasn't the majority owner. He started as a minority owner and then took a chunk, and then became the majority owner of what then would eventually become the Charlotte Hornets. But it started as a minority stake, but it was significant. It wasn't like, I think Dwayne Wade has 1% of the Jazz. It can't be that. It's got to be, like 10, like at least 10%. And I think you give him that as you're the team, right? Too bad the Sacramento already has the Kings. Right,
what
like
is it going to cost?
What
is it going to cost for him to get
things, right? With LeBron's logo, it would have been beautiful. Can't do it.
I just think that I think that we're talking about something that I can appreciate him being an owner of a team, but as a ball player, still relevant in the NBA. Why is he still? I'm still having a difficult time with why he's still here. That's what I'm having a difficult time with. He'll be 41 years old, and I understand that you're doing this because you want to do it your way. I take no issue with that. But why is LeBron James still playing? 23 years he's been in the league. He's the only guy left from not just from the 2003 draft, from 2004 to 2010. All of those guys are gone. All of them, they're gone. And I know that sounds ridiculous. From 2004 to 2010, all of those guys. Meanwhile, he's still here. Am I chasing records? Am I chasing ghosts? Ghosts that I'm probably never gonna catch. Why am I still doing this? And when I think about the job, because that's essentially what it is. It's a job, and you do it until you can't do it anymore. But after 23 years, 24 years, am I going to see the 2028-29 season open up in LeBron James in year 27? Is that what I'm going to see? Am I going to see in LeBron James at 44 years old? I don't want to be honest with you, I really don't want to see that. I don't. Because now what I'm looking at is I'm looking at guys who showed up.
Why? I got to stop you. Why don't you want to see that?
The reason why I don't want to see that is because I want to see the game grow. And if he's still here, the game isn't growing like it should because these other guys, we're not focused on them like we should. You just told me, Tone, that he's the face of the league. Tone, we got a 40-year-old who's the face of the league. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards is who he is. That's not a so, Tone. Anthony Edwards is who he is. Giannis Antetokounmpo is who he is. We got young guys coming up that could be possibly the face of the league. This guy, we can't still be focused on him 2-3 years later. Why is he still here? That's why I think the Lakers.
So take it from him. They haven't taken it from him. I still have LeBron over Anthony in my top 10 right now going into the season. I still have LeBron over Anthony Edwards as a better player.
Is better than Anthony Edwards today, Tone? You really think that?
I have LeBron at 5, Edwards at 6.
You really think that he's better than him? Even
Yes.
today? At 40 years old? No, man, there's no way you think that, Tone. And the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I'm saying that is because I understand how smart he is, but athletically, the athleticism is gone. I mean, the athleticism isn't what it used to be. Anthony Edwards is a much better athlete today. He's a much better long ball shooter. He's a much better driver. I still think James is smarter than him, and I think James can pass the out of the ball. I think that he can do all of those good things. But overall, as a player, Anthony Edwards is a better.
Let me ask you this. If I replace Anthony Edwards with LeBron James on Minnesota, do you think they go further or not as far? Because I think
if I take James and put him on that Minnesota team, do they go further with him than Anthony Edwards? I don't think that. No, even though James is a different player, and I think he brings a different element to what I think he brings a different element to what they're doing. No doubt about that. But I think that what Anthony Edwards brings on both the offensive and defensive end of the floor, I think he makes Minnesota so much better than what they already are. James, who is now a ball stopper. James, who is now a primary ball handler. James, who is now going to be the focal point of the offense, even more than what Anthony Edwards is. Anthony Edwards is a bucket getter. He's also a playmaker. No doubt about that. But now James is going to be all of those things, and he's going to get in the way of guys like Julius Randle. Now these guys got to play off of him, and they still see him like James, so they can't really flourish and be who they want to be. Because I'm playing with him, even at this time, I'm playing with him. So with that being said,
I just want to be clear. So you're saying you put LeBron on a team that has elite defenders and rebounders, and you don't think they go deep in the playoffs?
Well, they already go deep in the playoffs. Minnesota is already going deep in the playoffs as it is. So, are you saying that they don't lose anything if they take James off? I'm sorry, if they take Anthony Edwards off and they put James off. I mean, it was in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row.
They go to the NBA final, and I think the Lakers don't get any better because what they make up for in that athleticism and 3-point shooting, which I don't think is that big of a difference, they lose in leadership and smarts in playmaking. You said he's got play. I don't think Anthony. I think that's the biggest weakness in Anthony Edwards' game is his playmaking, and I think you take that all away from the Lakers, I think they get worse.
Watching Anthony Edwards in the playoffs last year, he was making the right reads. He was getting downhill. He was getting guys the basketball when it was necessary. I think that his
team though.
Even if he's on that Laker team, well, it's obvious that they're going to have to, 1, change the offense. 2, him running in the backcourt with Luka, the distributor and the playmaker that Luka is, how much better he would be running with Luka as opposed to being in Minnesota and not just being the focal point of the offense, but I'm responsible for so many other things. Now I'm in Los Angeles and I'm playing off Luka. I can actually play off the basketball legit. I'm getting the guy setting me up. How much better would that Laker team be with him? I think that they would.
There's only one way to find out. Let's trade LeBron for Anthony Edwards right now. Let's find.
Man, if I tell you one thing, I bet the Lakers would do that today because I think that, and
I would do it too because I think
the Lakers are out of the LeBron James business. Why do you think they didn't sign him to an extension? I think they're out of the LeBron James business.
Well, I already told you why they didn't sign him to an extension. That was strictly business for the sale to go through. Because it was letting the new ownership decide what they want to do. So at the end of the day, we agree that using the decision was a bad thing. You got tricked into thinking he was retiring. He is not. To answer your question, why is he staying and still playing? I think we both agree he's still a top 10 player, yeah?
If you got him anywhere between 8 to 11, I'm good with that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's a top 10 player. So if he's relevant, if he's the face of the league, he's a top 10 player. This team with Luka, like I think he even said it jokingly, but he meant it, a full season with Luka. Right? Mm-hmm. Like he said, why are you back again? He's like a full season. Last year was to play with Bronny. This year, a full season with Luka. There'll always be a reason. He loves basketball. So I don't hate. I don't hate that at all for him to keep playing. You and I disagree on that. I think as long as you're contributing and you're happy, keep playing. Like I don't care now if you can't play and you're out there, and you can't move up and down the court. Okay, now we're having a different conversation. I don't want to see that. But he's still like shows flashes of being, the best player. But he's definitely, I think, no one argues a top 10 player. So, okay, why not? And remember what I said. I think he's lower on most people's list because they compare him to who he was, not to the other players in the league. And I will continue to say that. I think you're comparing him to 2018, 2016, 2013. Yeah, okay, he's not that LeBron. He's a different LeBron.
I'm not comparing him to what he used to be. I'm comparing him to his contemporary.
Not you and Jared. I mean everybody.
Yeah. I think about what he is today compared to what the guys are today. I don't think he's a better player than Joker. I actually had a conversation with you. You think him and Joker are comparable today. You think him and Joker, there's not really that big of a gap between these guys. I think you crazy. Giannis, I don't think he's better than Giannis today. I mean, I can run down the list of guys. What I'm thinking,
look, I'll tell you my top 10, and at number 6, I think that's where the gap happens for me. Right? I got Jokic, SGA, Luka, Giannis, LeBron, Davis. Sorry, let me rephrase. Jokic, SGA, Luka, Giannis, LeBron, Edwards, and then Wemby, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, and then you can get into those other guys, Jason Tatum if healthy, right? But I think the top 5, 6, I think they're close. That any one of them, like I think Giannis, I have Giannis at 4. I think if Giannis healthy, he can have a season where he shoots right back up to number 1. I think Luka can be 1. I think SGA can be 1. A lot of people have SGA 1, and it's obvious that Jokic is easy to say why he could be number 1. I think any of those guys can have that number 1 season in the top 4. And then there's a gap with LeBron and Edwards, and then there's a bigger gap when 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
I just think that, and I think that's fair because there is a gap. It's after I got Anthony Davis.
And can I just say, you're a Mets fan, right?
Correct.
Okay. I just want to say my Toronto Blue Jays are, well, I'm a Dodgers fan, but since I live in Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays are kicking the snot out of the Yankees.
And they should. They should. They should sweep them. Yeah, that series should be over. Yeah,
2-1 in the second. 2-1 in the second for those watching.
They should definitely.
So if you keep seeing me looking up, it's because literally the TV in the hotel room is like, you can hear. I'll show you. It's literally right above.
Right there. There it is. There it is right there. Yes, and I don't blame. I actually should be. I'm watching it. I should watch it, but I'm not. I'm in here with you right now. Anyway, Tone.
How many times I seen you looking over at a basketball game?
Right here.
So I can.
TV is right there. As a matter of fact, with that being said, right, I think Anthony Davis is better than him. I think Anthony Davis is better than him. I think Anthony Edwards is better than him, and then that's where the love stops. I'm not sure if Donovan Mitchell is better than him. I still think he's better than Steph Curry. I think he's better than Wemby today. I think Wemby could pass him, but I'm not sure. That's what I mean when I say, like, anywhere between 8 and 11, I'm comfortable with that right there. But with that being said, for him to be the player that he is today, for him to still be relevant like he is today, I understand you have to do it for as long as you can, right? I definitely get that part. You got to do it for as long as you can. You have to be in it for as long as you can, because when it's over, it's over. I definitely get that part, Tom. But I'm wondering, when is it going to be over? Because we have to be coming up on that time. We have to be. I don't think we're in a space where I'm going to see James for 4 or 5 more years. I can't see James at 45 years old still doing it. When in 5 years, that means that guys like Jason Tatum are in year 12. That's what that means. When guys, if he's still around 4 or 5 years from now, that means guys like Jason Tatum and SGA are in year 12. That means guys like Steph Curry. I don't even think Steph Curry's still going to be around in 4 or 5 years. I think he's got 2 or 3 years left. But not even them. That would mean, Tom, that from 2004 to 2010, all of them dudes are gone. From 2010, if he's still around 4 or 5 years from now, we're in the 25, 26. If we're going into the 29-30 season, and this dude is still around, that would have to mean that all of those guys from 2010, at least half of those guys are gone. Why are you still here?
Let him play 30 years.
That's incredible.
Why not? Let him play in the 2000s, the 10s, the 20s, and the 30s. 4 decades. Why not?
No, I'm not here for that. So 2000s, 2010, 2020. That's 3 decades, 3 different decades. Because Vince Carter played in 4 different decades. Played in the 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2020s. No, I'm not here for that. No, I wish I could say I was here for that. And I think James is the GOAT, but I'm not here for that. I'm not.
I don't think he's the GOAT, and I'm here for it. Let's let him play. So let's move to that's the 5th. I have him as the 5th best player heading into the season, and let's move to the number 4th. So there's 2 stories that came out about Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if both of them are fake. I don't know if both of them are real. So apparently, his wife and their 4 children have reportedly permanently moved back to Greece. Is this a sign that Giannis is almost done with his NBA career and could return back to Greece and either retire, play for a team in Greece, only play for the Greek national team? Or is it just, as the old people would say, poppycock? Is it just news? Is it fake news?
If it's real news, right? Because I literally just found this out today about his wife wanting to move back to Greece. In fact, not only wanting to move back to Greece, like she moved back to Greece, right? If this is true, I don't think that it's right. I don't think that it's a situation where there's turmoil in the house.
No,
right. I don't think that's the case, because him and her, it looks to me on the surface, and on the surface could be tricky. On the surface could be tricky, but it looks to me like they are a happy family. It doesn't look like there's been any issues with this family. With that being said,
Steph Curry and Aisha look like they're a happy couple too, but she needs attention from other men. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes, sir. We can talk about that later. She doesn't. They don't seem to be. They don't seem to be a family that's divided. And I was thinking this myself. Giannis has been in Milwaukee. We're in 2025. He's been there for 12 years now, I want to say. He showed up in 2013. Yeah, so he's been there 12 years. Yeah. I don't think that he wants to play anywhere else, because we've been trading Giannis for the last, like Giannis has been moving on for like the last 5 seasons, and it still hasn't happened yet. So I think he's very much a family man. I think this is something that they both talked about, and I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis had decided, if they're going back home, because Giannis strikes me very much as a family man. So if that's true, I would not be surprised if Giannis decided that, yo, I'm out, I'm out, and I'm going back home, and I'm going to play.
And let's be clear. My career. Let's be clear. We never complain about other players going home. Correct?
No, we don't.
Like when we heard Kawhi Leonard, I know other things happened, but when we heard Kawhi Leonard wasn't staying in Toronto, he wants to go back to LA, be close to home, everybody was cool with that. When we hear a player was like from New York and they want to go play for the Knicks, we applaud that. So, you know, when the WNBA players say we need a league in the US, we need them to pay us, you know, fairly and money so that we don't have to go play overseas because we want to stay home in the US, everybody applauds that. So let's not pretend like him being a little homesick from the only home, like from birth until, you know, draft, he lived and breathed everything in Greece. Like that's his home. Forget the ancestors and the parents he grew up in Greece. And so if he's homesick, or if they feel like it's a better life with all the crazy stuff that's going on, then you know what? Good for him. He's made enough money. He's not going to play too long, according to you. You know, and if that's what he wants to do, I applaud it. However, if that were true, then why did we hear the report that the only team he would have been good going to was New York? And what would that look like, Giannis going to New York? Like, would they have had to give up a lot? Would that team be an instant NBA championship, like, or bust? Mm-hmm. Did you hear anything about who, what, how he would have gotten to New York?
Well, the what I heard was that they weren't serious, and
Okay.
it was that the Knicks weren't willing to give up what Milwaukee was asking for, and it was obvious that they weren't serious. And if I'm Milwaukee, Tone, you are a businessman, and when you live somewhere where there's really not much else going on here except this, I need to keep my business viable. And Giannis is the Milwaukee Bucks. Yep. So if I'm giving him to New York, I'm basically giving you my moneymaker. I'm giving you the name on the moniker. I'm giving you that. There's no way you think that I'm just going to hand him over for a bucket of extra crispy and a six-pack. I'm not doing that, because in the end, this is business. So with that being said, if I'm giving him to New York, I'm going to need a bunch of first-round picks, which, by the way, you don't have. And the reason why you don't have that, because you traded for Mikal Bridges. You gave all your first-round picks to Brooklyn. So you don't have any ones. So that's not going to work. That's number one. Number two, the players that you do have, the great players that you do have, you're probably not interested in coming off of any of those guys, which means, Tone, that we're going to have to get who involved? A third team. Yes, we're going to have to get a third team involved. That's
third team.
Yes, we're going to have to get a third team involved. And there's nobody that's interested in helping out the Knicks get Giannis.
I think every trade you've ever said has a third team.
Well, the reason why is because we're talking about moving off of a superstar player, right? Yeah. That's why. Because we're talking about, because more times than not, when you're talking about moving on from a guy like Giannis, the Knicks aren't comfortable giving up. Because I'm asking for Cat. I'm asking for Cat. I'm asking for OG Anunoby, and I'm asking for 4 or 5 ones, which you don't have. And don't tell me that I'm not serious. And don't tell me that I'm not serious, because I am offering Giannis. That's who I'm offering. So that right there alone says that I'm serious. It's not like I'm asking for OG Anunoby. I'm asking for Cat. I'm asking for Mikal Bridges. I'm also asking for 2 guys off your bench, and I'm asking for 5 ones. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm absolutely not doing that. What I am doing, however, is I'm asking for something reasonable. And I think that with him being in Milwaukee, I think that Milwaukee is a space that Giannis has maybe outgrown for his wife. I think that this is kind of like what happened with Cleveland. Like James ended up outgrowing Cleveland, even though I don't think he ever wanted to leave, which is why he came back. Same thing with Shaq. When he left Orlando, he ended up outgrowing Orlando, even though he didn't want to leave. I feel like Milwaukee is one of those places where he's outgrown it. And I think that his wife, maybe they want to expand. I don't think that this would be that much of a transition if he lived in Miami, if he lived in New York, if he lived in Los Angeles. I think that there would be much more. I think that they would be much more comfortable in a city like that, in an area, not necessarily the city of Los Angeles, but in an area like that. One, Tone, you've been to Los Angeles before. There's a huge Greek population in Los Angeles.
I lived in Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's a huge Greek population in Los Angeles. They actually have that also in New York City.
In New York, so Chicago, for sure.
You got China,
New York, Chicago, Toronto. All of them will have
multicultural, one of the most multicultural cities in Toronto. You got a section or an area where these are your people, and I'm confident that you want to be around that. I think that she is as comfortable as she is being from there or living there. I think that she would be just as comfortable if she was more around her people as opposed to Milwaukee. I think that they've outgrown Milwaukee. Just from a family standpoint. I don't think from a basketball standpoint, because I feel like Milwaukee's doing everything that they possibly can to hold on to Giannis. I think that they're doing everything that they can to keep him. This is the same Giannis who Milwaukee is looking at going, when's the last time we had a guy like this? The last time we had a guy like this was about 50 years ago. His name was Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Jabbar. That was the last time we had somebody like this. And we're not interested in moving on from him just yet. No, not yet. We'd like to hold on to him for as long as we possibly can. Now, here's the difference. We've heard this rhetoric, Tone, for like the last 4 or 5 years. You have said to me countless times, and I still stand on it, the super team logic is over.
Done.
We're done with that. Okay, we are done with that. I know that you would love to see Giannis in Golden State with Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. I know you would love to see him in Miami with Bam and Khalil Ware and all of that. I know you'd love to see him with Luka and LeBron James. Those days are over. No more super teams. Those days are done.
I feel like we could trade him to LA and move LeBron to New York, and then whatever they were going to give for Giannis New York and just send to Milwaukee, and then everybody's happy.
But I don't know if I'm following you on that one, Tones. No, I'm not sure if I'm following you on that. So, Tone, I think that we're in a space with James, not Tom. I think we're in a space with Giannis where they've just outgrown where they are. And it happens with superstar players in small markets.
When you say outgrown, I don't want to. Let's not like make it seem like Milwaukee's like this rinky dink. Like the Milwaukee proper is about 600,000 people. Athens proper is about 650,000. So that's fine. Milwaukee, the metro is about, I think, 1.6, 1.7 million. Okay, the Athens metro is a lot larger. It's twice the size. It's about 3 million.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to your point, when you say outgrown, I think you mean, I don't know that it's outgrown so much as I don't know this answer. I don't think Milwaukee has a huge Greek population, and they're very family oriented. They're very proud of their roots, whether it's the Nigerian roots or and the Greek roots, like both sides. And I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think Milwaukee has a lot of that. Whereas you look at any other major metro, Toronto, Chicago, New York, LA, those will have, those areas and a lot of people from that background. So it's more comfortable, right? Like I'm sure it's hard to find, traditional Nigerian ingredients to make a dish. It's probably hard to find, authentic Greek olive oil to make whatever they like. It's harder. I'm not saying
that stuff matters though. Like we laugh and talk, but that stuff matters.
But that stuff matters. That stuff matters.
That stuff 100% matters.
Is right around the corner from my house. There is and I'll give them a shameless plug because they're awesome. The Greek Market Cafe, and they have all the stuff that I used to buy from the grocery store when I lived in Greece. Right, like mitzitra, people won't even know what I'm talking about. The mitzitra, the feta, the olive oil, all of that stuff. They have it, so I can, no problem. Boom, boom, boom. I can get it. If I wasn't there, it'd be harder to make some of those things. Now, I say make, like I'm making it. I'm not. Mrs. Fluent is doing all the cooking. Let's be honest. But it would be harder. We'd have to travel out, and it'd be a pain. So if I could go somewhere where it was closer. Yeah, it makes life easier. So
with a space like that, Tone, and I want to make sure that we keep it where we are in terms of basketball. That grocery store where you get all the goods, like that doesn't mean that you've outgrown Toronto, because there's other things going on in Toronto that make you want to still be there. I feel like in Milwaukee, to your point, Tone, in terms of metro, in Greece. Giannis is from there. Giannis grew up there. He might be more comfortable there. He might know more people there. He
definitely knows more people. And there is something to be said. Like, just think about this. From Milwaukee, all those trips that they make to go to other cities to play basketball, when you live in Greece, those are other countries you're going to visit. Yeah. It is so easy to travel around because literally the size of the countries there in Europe are like the size of states. It is so easy. When I lived there, I never did so much traveling. When I lived in Greece, it was like, boom, I go to Germany. Boom, I went to France. Went down to Morocco. Went to Belgium. Like a weekend trip. Like you could go, like long weekend. Yeah, boom. I went to Morocco for 4 days. It was great. Like you can't do that. No, again, no disrespect. You can't do that from Milwaukee. You can't.
It's difficult.
If you grew up having that really freedom, or especially now that he's, here's the thing, now that he has money and he's gone back and visited, life's a lot better. Like when you're rich in Greece, it's like being wealthy in the US. And there's the difference between those two things.
We ain't standing on the corner selling oranges anymore. We're not doing that. No, we don't do that no more. No, we wait.
So even without Giannis, so Giannis to New York, pipe dream, probably not happening. Okay. Is New York with this roster now ready and healthy to go, are they the favorites to come out of the East?
I don't think so. No, I think it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. I do think that they are a legit contender to come out of the East, 100%. But just like Cleveland has their issues with the small backcourt, which I can appreciate that logic. They got a small backcourt. The New York Knicks have something that's even worse. Number one, they're two. Sounds like Toronto scored again. It sounds
3-1.
like
3-1.
Yes, it sounds like Toronto scored again. Even with the small backcourt that the Cleveland Cavaliers have, they have other people. They got other players in Evan Mobley, in Jared Allen, in Lonzo Ball to protect that quote unquote small backcourt and that small lineup. Meanwhile, Donovan Mitchell is a viable defender. He might not be Drew Holiday, he might not be Derek White, he might not be an all-league defender, but he will definitely compete on defense. 100% about that. The New York Knicks, on the other hand, their two best players are liabilities defensively. So in Jalen Brunson, he's a guy that you can go after. Not only is he a guy that you can go after, we've consistently seen them go after Cat, whether it's in drop coverage, whether it's in pick and roll, whether it's in isolation, whether it's in switch. They make sure that they get Cat into action. And he's so bad defensively that this can be a problem for them. Add that to the fact that OG Anunoby has not been the picture of health, unfortunately. OG Anunoby is a guy who can break down. And this is the same issue, right? This is the same issue that the Cavs have, because Evan Mobley ended up getting hurt. Evan Mobley ended up getting hurt. Jared Allen ended up getting hurt. With these guys, with that being said, I feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers have everything necessary in order for them to win the NBA championship this year. Everything. The liabilities that the Knicks have, I don't think that the Cavs have that. I think they got a deep bench. I think they got a great coach. I think they got a better coach than the Knicks. And I've seen Mike Brown get out-coached. In fact, he got out-coached. Against Indiana. I felt like not against Indiana. Tibbs outcoached Rick Carlisle. I think he coached circles around Tibbs. And I think Tibbs is a better coach than Mike Brown, if I'm being honest with you. I just think Tibbs is stubborn in his rotations. Yeah, I think he's a better coach than Mike Brown. I just think he's stubborn in his rotations. With that being said, he can get outcoached, because I've seen Stan Van Gundy outcoach Mike Brown in the series, right? I've seen him outcoach him in the series. And because he did that, I don't think it's past the realm of possibility that he could get outcoached. I just think that the Cavs are better all the way around. I think they're a better team. I think that if I saw those guys in a playoff series, I think the Cavs beat them in 6 games.
Would you say the Knicks are the second best team in the East?
Yes, I would say that. Emphatically say that they're the second best team. So
you think it'll come down Knicks, Cavs, Eastern Conference Finals, whoever, and then
yes.
And let's be honest, although you're picking the Cavs, whoever has the better series, the ball bounces their way. We know how the NBA works, right? That team's one of those two teams is representing the East.
Yes, I think it's either the Knicks or the Cavs. One of those two teams. And to your point, when you talked about with the top 10 players, I think that there's a gap. Like I think it's the Cavs, I think it's the Knicks, then I think it's Orlando. I think there's a gap between Orlando and New York.
So I think there's a gap with Orlando at third. Okay.
Yes, I think there's a gap between Orlando and the Knicks at third. I think there's a gap between the Knicks and Atlanta in fourth. I think there's a gap between the Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. As good as the Detroit Pistons are, and I think that they did a good job in bolstering their roster, I think there's a gap between those guys. I think there's a gap between the Knicks and Milwaukee. With Milwaukee at 6. So I think it's Cleveland. I think it's the Knicks. Then I think it's everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because I'm so over this, right? I'm so over this logic of, the Eastern Conference is weak. It's not what it used to be. I'm not going to argue that point. It's not what it was.
I'll pause and say, when they say it's weak, I think they mean it's in, when the team that represented them last year in the NBA Finals lost their starting point guard and starting center.
Mm-hmm.
The team that won the NBA championship the year before that and represented the East lost their best player and traded away
3 of their starters.
Two of their starters.
3 of them. Mm-hmm.
3 of them? Oh, yes.
Yep.
3. So 4/5 of that team
gone.
Mm-hmm. So when you and then the teams that are coming up, Atlanta's unproven, Orlando is young. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who have been at the top in terms of the standings, haven't proven that they can win in the playoffs yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Knicks are probably the only. That's why I think the Knicks, why people are putting the Knicks up as the powerhouse, is because they're the team that's been there and probably gotten better. Now, depends on what you think of their coach. So it's just when they say weak, I think. But then when you look at the star power, like here, let's look at this really quick. I don't know if you have the same as I do list, but I'm not even going to say names. Okay, I'm just going to say East or West. So in my top 10, it goes West, 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 East, West, 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 East. I got 8 in the West, 2 out of my top 10. 8 in the West, 2 in the East. So from a star power perspective, so when they say it's weak, again, it's not. I think it's more to do with how many stars are in the West. When you look at the teams, like you said, there's a gap between Cleveland and the rest. Is there more than one team in the West there is no gap between them and Cleveland? Like OKC, Denver, Minnesota, like is the gap?
I think there's a gap. Now, when you say, like, for example, I think at the top of the Western Conference is Oklahoma City and Denver. I think that's the top of the Western Conference. The third seed, I think, is Houston. I think there's a gap between.
Wait. Where would Houston be in the East?
If Houston was in the East, I don't think that I think they're 4. I don't think they better than Cleveland. I don't think they better than the Knicks. I'm not sure that they're better than Orlando.
Okay, where would OKC? Sorry, 6-1 Jays. Let's go.
Blow them dudes out. Destroy them dudes. Absolutely. Tone, let me tell you something right now. Before you go any further in asking these questions, I can't say that I am not happier about watching the Yankees get mopped. I love every minute of that. I love it. And if anybody that's a Yankee fan is listening,
some stuff for those Barstool guys.
If anybody is listening to this that's a Yankee fan, eat it. That's what I'm saying to you right now, you Yankee fans.
That's your goat. Your goat is a Yankee fan. Tell them.
Get stomped, and I'm loving every minute of that. 100% I am. But to your point, Oklahoma City.
So my point, OKC and Denver, where would they be in the East?
I think that they would be at the top of the Eastern Conference. I think that Oklahoma City would be, considering what they have.
They would be 1, 2, and Cleveland would be 3.
I'm taking Cleveland over Denver. I am. I'm taking Cleveland over Denver. So I go Oklahoma City.
I think that's why where the weak thing comes from is I think it's from that. It's from the star power and from they just think the teams are better overall. Like if you look at 1 through 8 in the West versus 1 through 8 in the East, and you have to pick which one do you want.
Tone, I think that 1 through 6 is a lot better than people think. Like, for example,
I'm not saying it's not better than what people think. What I'm saying is if you had to pick 1 through 8 in the West and 1 through 8 in the East, which one would you pick?
I definitely think on the other. I think on the other half, I would go with the West because like after 6 it gets tricky. But sure. Okay, if I look at the Eastern Conference, so let's see.
Cleveland, I think at the East after 4, there's a drop off.
I don't think it's that much of a drop off, Tone, to be honest with you. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at the other teams in the Western Conference, and I think that it's largely due to them just being in the West. Like if Minnesota was in the East, I don't think I'm not saying Minnesota is better than Detroit. I'm not going like this. I think that they're a lot closer than people think. If I'm thinking about the East, again,
I think Minnesota runs away with the East if they were in the East.
I don't think so. I don't think
they run away with it.
I don't think they better than the Knicks. I'm not sure that I'm not sure. I think they're better than Orlando. Atlanta, I think, will give them a run for their money. Detroit, I think, would give them a run for their money. I think they're better than Milwaukee. I will give you that. And I think that they're the 7th. The 6th or the 7th. I think Minnesota could finish anywhere between 5 and 7 in the Western Conference. I think that they're that good. But when I think about the East, so again, I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm not biased isn't the word I'm looking for. I'm not saying that I don't have a favorable, like I don't have a soft spot for the East. Tone, I'm an Eastern Conference dude. I grew up as an Eastern Conference dude. The only reason why I was a Western Conference dude is because of my cousin. That's it. That's the only reason why I was a Western Conference dude. When he came back to the East, I was back on the East. That's the only reason why I was a Western Conference dude. It's because of my cousin. Other than that, I am not interested in the Western Conference like that. I'm not. So on one end, I do have a soft spot for the Eastern Conference, and I'm repping the East. But I think after 6, I think it gets tricky. So to your point, Oklahoma City, Denver.
I think Cleveland in the East, Cleveland in the West would be the 5th or 6th seed.
I think
and to your point, I have a bias to the West. I grew up a fan of the West, of the Western Conference, and so my allegiance, and I loved your cousin because he helped us win 3.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I could dig that. I think they better than Denver. I think Cleveland's better than Denver. I think they better than Houston. I think they better than both the Lakers and the Clippers. And I think they better than Minnesota. I think they'd be the second best team in the Western Conference if they played in the West.
Joe Knows Ball kind of said something. I think part of the weak East too, I think, is when we look at the worst teams, Charlotte, Washington, right?
Brooklyn.
The worst. What?
Brooklyn.
It's East. So you have these, but specifically Charlotte and Washington are just bottom all the time. Like it's like they have no hope. Whereas, right now the Jazz are at the bottom of the West, but they've been good, right? And you don't see, do you see any hope short term for Charlotte or Washington? Like they're not going in.
I actually do see some hope for what? Yes, I do see some hope for Washington. I would not be surprised, and I may be going out on a limb, and this may be a hot take, but I would not be surprised if at the end of the season we saw what Portland was doing last year at the end of the season. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that with Washington, where they were maybe 2-3 games out of a play-in spot in the East. I would not be surprised because I think they're on to something in Washington. This kid, Alex Sarr, I think he's something special. I do. I think they got the Rookie of the Year on their crew in Trey Johnson. As much as Cooper Flagg looks great in the preseason, and he's looked stellar, no doubt about that. But I think this kid, Trey Johnson, in Washington, I think he's the Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to be something special for them. I think this kid Bilal, I think he takes a jump this year. I'm on record saying that I think Alex Sarr defensively he could be Rudy Gobert good. I think he's that good as a defender and as a rebounder. I think he could be that good. I'm waiting to see it. I think we're going into year 3. I'm sorry, we're going into year 2 or year 3. I think that's where we're going. And I think this kid is something to see, man. I do. I think this kid is something to see. So I think this Washington team, I think they're on to something. Charlotte, on the other hand, I have no faith in them. Just like I feel the same way about Utah. Even though I am going to be watching more Utah games this year, off the strength of what I saw Lauri Markkanen do over the summer in the Eurobasket tournament. I am going to be watching more Utah games this year because I'd like to see what exactly it is that they're doing with him. Because I can count on one hand, Tone, how many how many Utah games. I can count on one hand how many I watched last year. So I'm going to be watching more.
I wrote down at 1 hour and 6 minutes that you said Washington has a shot at like being a game or 2 away from a playoff spot.
Don't be surprised if we get the mark.
I'm definitely going to clip that. But you mentioned that we're talking about the number 1 team that I think we both agree on will be the number 1 team, which is Cleveland. An anonymous NBA executive said that the Cavs should trade Darius Garland and believes Sacramento is the team where they can get a deal for Malik Monk as a potential fit to replace Darius in the backcourt because that backcourt is too small with him and Donovan Mitchell.
So,
should the Cavs consider trading Darius Garland?
Just so we clear, ladies and gentlemen, and Tone is a businessman. And Tone, what's one of the first rules of not one of the first? What's a rule in business?
If you fail fast.
100%. So this has not failed. This is actually working. That anonymous executive, I wouldn't be surprised if he's from a playoff team in the Eastern Conference that's trying to get Darius Garland off that crew and get Malik Monk on that crew because he knows that Malik Monk weakens them. It's not like Malik Monk is 6'5" or 6'6" and Darius Garland is 6 foot or 6'1". No, they're around the same size. That's number one. Number two, Darius Garland is ridiculously efficient. I think he was a 50-40-90 guy last year, Tony. If he wasn't, he was close to it. And the whole idea about this backcourt being small. Let's remember one thing, Tone. Things don't work until they work. When they work, now they become the standard. You can't win with a jump shooting team until you actually win with a jump shooting team. Now all of a sudden, everybody's got to shoot jump shots. Well, you can't win with a small backcourt until you win with a small backcourt. And now everybody's going, you know what? We live in a copycat league. Let's try and mimic this. I know how you guys feel about the small backcourt thing. Well, having Lonzo Ball,
it worked okay for Houston in the rough and tumble late 80s and 90s.
And again, we don't live there anymore, right? we don't live there anymore. But with that being said, Tone, with the way that the way that the Cavs play, as good as Darius Garland is, as efficient as he is, we have a guy like Lonzo Ball who plays behind him, who can be a mismatch nightmare at 6'6", who can be a mismatch nightmare, who's one of the better distributors. He can knock down an open shot. Last year, what he proved was that he could still play, which I think is very important. He proved that he could still hold up. And the fact that he could do that, I think that helps. Tone, please do not think for 1 second that this is not an anonymous executive that wants Darius Garland off the crew because it weakens them. Yes, that 100% could be going on. 100% that could be going on. I'm trying to put the bug in your ear that y'all need to get rid of him. You know what, Tone? You need to stop dating her because she bad news. In reality, I really want her.
You think if I keep saying LeBron for Anthony Edwards or Giannis, it might actually happen?
No.
No. Okay. I'm just trying to speak stuff into existence. How about this trade for you?
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga for Bam Adebayo.
Draymond.
The Warriors have said if Bam Adebayo would ever request a trade out of Miami,
mm-hmm.
they would be interested in acquiring him.
Of course, as they should. And I think Bam Adebayo he's perfect for what they do in terms of a dribble handoff guy, a hub for their offense. I don't think he does what Draymond does at the level that Draymond does, but I think that he does some of what Draymond does. I think he's a better scorer than Draymond. I think he's a better player.
Could you get him? Could you keep Draymond and get Bam?
No. I think that to be honest with you, if it was Jonathan Kuminga, it would have to be something else. You probably could keep Draymond because I think Pat Riley, if he gave up Bam for Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond, they may run Pat Riley out of there. First of all,
but if he did Kuminga, a bunch of firsts, maybe a pod, B-pod, Podzinski. No,
and the reason
need a third team involved.
No, I don't think you need a third team involved. There's no reason for. I'm thinking number one, Tone. Bam is the man in Miami. This is his crew. So why would I ask out when I'm on record saying, right? I'm on record saying, with Tyler Hero healthy, I think they're a league guard away from really challenging in the Eastern Conference. I think this Miami Heat team is that good. I think in terms of a talent with Hero at the 2, Wiggins at the 3, Hero at the 2, Wiggins at the 3, Bam at the 4, and this kid Khalil Ware, who I think could be an all-star this season coming up. I think he's that good. I think he could supplant what Jared Allen is doing. Everybody talks about how good Jared Allen is. I think this kid Khalil Ware could be better than him. That's number one. If you put a lead guard, a legit lead guard, and I don't think you need somebody that's a 30-a-game guy, but I think you do need a lead guard that can score, right? I do think you need a lead guard that can score. With that being said, if you could get a lead guard in there with what they have, I think their style of play, in terms of them defensively, I don't think that's I don't think that that's something that it could even be questioned because you got a damn good defender in Andrew Wiggins. He's proven that. Bam is a top 5 defender in the league. And I think this kid Khalil Ware is going to be one of the best rim protectors and rebounders in the game. If you put a legit league guard in that lineup, plus what they have in their rotation, I think that this Miami Heat team would be serious. So why would Bam, if he knows that we're that close and he's 28 years old, and it's not like this is a rebuild, why would I want out of that? I wouldn't want out of that. On top of that, Tone, you have said to me countless times, Tone, what is the state of the super teams in the NBA?
They're done.
I think they overtone. So I'm going to get.
And
I already traded.
And let's be clear. Even when they were a thing, they were always short term. They didn't equate to long term success. And in fact, we had a lot of them that failed miserably. So yeah, I think we know. I've said this, if not once, not twice, a million times. Mm-hmm. We know what the blueprint is to work. Right? It's a superstar. It's a secondary scorer, a rebounder, a perimeter defender, and if you're lucky, and then the same things, a rebounder and a defender off the bench. Every team has that same makeup.
Yep.
Superstar, secondary scorer, rebounder, defender. Now, sometimes it's the one person can do 2 of those 3 things, like it could be the secondary scorer and the defender. But that's what wins long term. Look at any of, whether it's the Spurs dynasty, the Warriors, like any team that's had long success, that has been even the short-term wins. Even like if you look at the Bucks when they won their one, that was the makeup, right? But the super teams come in, and I hate super teams. I don't even believe in that, but the super teams come in, and it's like, okay, we've got a short window because we have to win with a team that's top heavy, and so you have to win, and you have to win quick. Because one will get hurt, one will get old, one will do, whatever will happen, and then it fades out quickly. So it's risky because for every Heatles, there's a KD, Kyrie,
Brooklyn Nets. That was a complete and utter disaster.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question to you, Tone. Was I ridiculous when I thought the Clippers, after they lost, when they went to the West Finals, when Leonard tore up his knee, was I ridiculous to think that was the time to move off of him?
No,
because I felt like everything, and I'm gonna bring it back to Golden State, but I felt like at that time, to your point, these teams, there's a window for us to win it. Leonard was broken. You knew he was broken. We didn't have a lot of time. And this was the time to do it. And once he broke down, that was it. It's time to move on from this guy. So I feel like with Steph Curry, who's going to be 38 years old come playoff time next year, they're still trying to make them viable, 100%. But there isn't a team in the NBA in terms of their core guys that are this old. So to get Bam Adebayo on that crew, when you literally just traded for Jimmy Butler, if you think Miami is giving you Bam Adebayo 2, that's not happening. No.
Yeah, that's fair. But hey, that's the report. That's the report, is that that Bam Adebayo would be at the top of the Warriors list if he sure. Like, yeah, if a great player requested a trade, yeah, he'd be at the top of our list. Sure. Whose list wouldn't he be at the top of?
Right.
If Bam Adebayo said I want to get traded, every team should have him at the top of the list and be like, hey, can I get him?
Line them up.
You'd be stupid not to. Right?
Every team you think about, the Celtics, line them all up. They'd be like, yes. Well, yes. What do we have to do to get him? Yes. No doubt about that. So again, I think that Bam would fit with the Golden State Warriors, Tone. It's not like it's a situation where if I look at Bam and I think to myself, yo, Bam, it doesn't work in Golden State. And I understand that the Golden State Warriors are still trying to keep Steph viable. They're still trying to keep this team legit. And I get that. I'm not arguing that point at all. Because if you got a guy in Steph Curry that's still this good, this late in his career, you can't waste him. You can't. And I felt like before they made that trade last year for Jimmy Butler, they were definitely wasting him. Because I had said to you that this team is going to be bad. They're not going to make the playoffs. And Steph's going to demand to be traded. it's going to happen last season.
I don't necessarily agree with that part. I think Steph's just like I'm a Golden State lifer. I don't think he's ever. I think he's retiring there. I don't think he's playing anywhere else ever. The only exception would be, I don't know if he if he wanted to end his career, bad situation, but end his career in Charlotte, where he grew up, where his dad is still, the play-by-play guy for the Hornets.
Yeah.
Okay, like that would be the only, again, want to go home again. Mm-hmm. Now, he's also had a very different, right? He's born in Akron, mostly in Charlotte, went to middle school in Toronto, actually, when Dell was playing for the Raptors. But then Charlotte really feels like home, right? That's where he kind of went through his high school, and that's kind of, I think, more home to him. So, and again, because his dad worked for him, that's the only other place I could see him going. But I think he's a Golden State and he retires there. Like that's. Oh, they got Aaron Judge in a rundown. Got Got him. Let's go.
Yeah, he's out. No doubt about that. So,
sorry.
To your point, to your point, Tone. Again, I'm not watching the game. I'd be lying if I said I was watching the game. But to your point, this Golden State Warriors team, I understand the logic that Steph Curry is a Golden State lifer, but I don't think he wants to play on a bad team, and I don't think Golden State would do that to him. I think that if they were trying to move on, let's say for the sake of argument that they weren't able to bag Jimmy last year, right? They weren't able to come to a deal at the trade deadline, and they basically had to stick with what they had. They were going to miss the playoffs for the second time in 3 years. That was going to happen. So with them missing the playoffs for the second time in 3 years, essentially what we're doing with Curry is we wasting him. That's what we're doing. So now it comes to a point where, are we going to hold on to Curry? Because don't forget, he had just signed that extension, and we paid him. So it's $120 million for 2 more years, which, okay, he's the moneymaker, no doubt about that. But with that being said, why are we holding on to this? We probably have to move on at some point, right? I think that at some point we do have to move on from what we have here. So I just think that the super team, and I think that bomb squads, I think bomb squads are still a thing. And there's a difference between a bomb squad and a super team. I think the super team is a band of guys that you threw together. That's what I think the super team is, Tone. I think the super team is a band of guys that you threw together, like James and Bosh and Wade and Mike Miller. I think that's what but I think that a bomb squad is, we don't necessarily have the star power, but everything that's necessary, we got it. We don't have any holes. Everything that you need to win, we got it. Whatever you need. You need rebounding, check. Ball handling, check. Bucket getter, check. Defender, check. Rotation guys, check. We got all of that. And we might not have the star power that you guys have, but we got all of that other stuff, and that's what's going to supplement us.
Well, and that's what you're trying to, like, you call that a bomb squad. I'm like, well, that's what you should be trying to build.
Yes.
That's why I don't like kind of the terms that we use a lot of times. It's, oh, there's a super team. Why? Oh, because they put a bunch of stars together. Yeah. Isn't that the goal? Bomb squad. Well, yeah, isn't that the goal? Like, what do you want me to do? Have a crappy team? No, I want to put all the best possible players together at every position and win. That's what I'm, as a GM, that's my job. So I get what you're saying, but okay. Quickly, before I sent out the link, so there's got a couple people, DJ Mac, we're going to get to you in a second. The WNBA's contract is with their CBA with their players is about to expire.
October
31st, I believe. It's the end of the month. And their commissioner has not been making any friends.
Mm-hmm.
I've already said the people running the WNBA are morons. And I've left I'll still be a GM. Give me the Charlotte Hornets. I'll turn them around. But I'll also take on the job as commissioner of the WNBA because I think I could use half my brain and do a better job than what they're doing in terms of marketing and their business deals. Adam Silver said he acknowledges that there's work to be done to repair the relationship with WNBA players as they negotiate the new CBA.
Mm-hmm.
Is it repairable? Or I heard a rumor that the commissioner, I think, should do it now, but has said after the CBA negotiations are done, she's stepping down.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear stuff like that, when you hear, stars of the league coming out and saying, "Oh yeah, she said that they're lucky to have the WNBA," what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that there's a trust issue, and when there's a trust issue in leadership, I don't think that that's repairable. I think that this is something that's been going on for years now, and they've continuously said that they're trying to fix it when there has been no result whatsoever. So because there's been no result whatsoever, why are we still here? You clearly aren't doing anything to fix this. You're not. And when I feel like, Tone, when the trust is broken, and I feel like the trust has been broken with the commissioner and the union, I feel like the trust has been broken. And once the trust has been broken between them, they have no respect whatsoever for what they're doing in terms of the commissioner. None. We have no respect in your leadership. We have no confidence in you making anything better. So when you have a player like Fee come out and with receipts say everything that she said this, Tone. She gathered all of this based on what was going on within the landscape of the league. And she put all of this together over the course of time. Like, this isn't something, right? This isn't something that she just came up with when she went to the microphone. No, this has been going on for quite a while now. So because this is going on for quite a while, this is how you feel about us, right? This is how you feel about us. This is what you think we are. So because this is what you think we are, we don't have any respect for you as a commissioner, and I think it's time to move on. So I don't think this relationship, Tone, is repairable. I don't think that there's a future for Engelbert as the commissioner in the WNBA. To your point, I think that if you guys are going to move on, the time is now to move on, because she could sabotage negotiations. She could throw a monkey wrench in it and stall this thing and make it way worse than what it is. So I don't think that this thing is repairable at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they need to just get rid of her today, and I'll go in and negotiate the deal for them. I'll take good care of everybody. So just to be clear, I know the truth, but are you James Posey or Aaron Glenn, or neither?
Neither.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, DJ, you ready? DJ's up first. Go ahead, DJ.
What up?
What's up, Fluent? What's up, Chill? What's up? Quick question to piggyback off of the WNBA situation. Being as though with the upcoming stuff that's going on, do you see in the near future where the ladies possibly sit out and not play until they get somebody better in office? And can they afford to do that?
I could see it, and it would be disastrous, because I believe, and I'd have to read the contract to know for sure, but there typically will be a clause in that TV deal that they signed. So they signed a $2.2 billion for 11 years, something like that, contract. And if there's no games to air, there could be an out clause. And if they see a long-term strike or walkout or lockout, and they pull that deal, that could be the end of the WNBA as we know it.
Wreck them.
Because just remember, last year alone, they lost $50 million. So if you now take that league that's about to make money, like, this is the year that they're going to be profitable. They're about to get that money. If that money comes off the table, it could be the end.
So you think that could affect the expansion teams? Because remember, it's expansion teams coming out like the next couple years until like 2030. I think like a Detroit team, a Portland team, a Toronto team. Do you think that could affect, any debuts in new cities?
We can't expand if we don't have a product.
League. Yeah, you can't expand.
Yeah. We can't expand if we don't have a product. And if they take that deal off the table in terms of the TV deal, okay, if the TV deal comes off the table, that means that sponsorship comes off the table, because that's where the money is in TV. It's in sponsorship. So if we don't have a product to put on TV, we get out of this deal, Why is Philly getting a team? Basically, where we are, we're back to the 90s when we were trying to sell this thing. We're actually selling it now, and it's working. So the last thing we need is to have a strike where here's the good thing. The good thing is that the season is over in about a week. The season's going to be over.
Yeah.
So they have from October until March. I think training camp opens in April. They have from October till April to put a deal together. This is not like, yo, we're going on strike on April 20th. No, we have until training camp opens to put a deal together. And if we got 6 months to put a deal together, if we can't get this done in 6 months, we have a huge problem. And that means Philly, Toronto, Miami. We don't have any teams. We don't. Because we don't have a product to put on the floor.
Which also is so bad because those teams, those expansion teams, when they come in, they pay an expansion fee. It elevates everybody's revenue. Like all of the stuff they're doing is right. I think they could have got a bigger TV deal, but forget
Tone, you keep saying that. Like, Tone, I really need you to elaborate on that. That you think they could have got a bigger TV deal. Like,
I know for a fact they could have got. They for sure could have got a bigger deal. Like $2 billion sounds like a lot. It does.
Over 10 years.
When you split it up over 11 years, it's $200 million, which again sounds like a lot, but it's not because they're already, they've already surpassed that in their own revenue. Like I think realistically, like Cheryl Miller thought like 6 point something billion. When I did the math, it looked like about a 4 billion, I think, to be top. For that long of a term, they could have gotten realistically 4 billion. And that would have been a game changer. Now what they have to do is taking the 2 billion. Now they're working these other side deals, which they have, right? 600 million here, 200 million there. They're going to make it up, but it's going to be hard because now it's all piecework. So I think there was more there, but even still, you've been losing money, but $10 million. Okay, last year was $50 million because they added the private chartered planes. But $50 million, they're going to get $200 million plus they have another deal. Like I said, that $600 million deal, which is about $50 million a year. They're automatically going to be, if they grow none, like zero growth, which they've grown every year. So even if they had zero growth, they go from a $50 million loser plus expansion fees. They're going to be a $200 million in the black. So they're making money. So and that's doing a horrible job with PR, doing a horrible job with marketing, the players being shitty to fans and horrible with the media. Like with everything doing wrong, they're still going to make money. The last thing you need, no sport comes out of a strike better. None. So they're going to have to now.
That includes the NFL, that includes the NBA, that includes hockey. Sure.
To make it work and go. Baseball's just recovering now. It's been forever.
It's been 30 years. I
love the WNBA, but they don't have the product to, like basketball. Like when basketball had the strike in '99, 5 seconds later, they were signing that in 2001. I want to say they were signing the biggest deal with ESPN in their history. Well, yeah, they had Shaq, they had Kobe, Jordan was coming. Like they had so much going on that. And there was people watching it. That's not the WNBA today. They're not at the stage. They're at the stage where they need to take a deal, and then the next one they can be a little bit more.
So do you think that this current deal that they have? So because from listening to you talk about this, Tom, it sounds to me like this current deal that they had at 2.2. This is going to be outdated, and it's not going to take long for it to be outdated.
It be like Scottie Pippen's contract. By the time
so like in 2 years.
By the time he starts getting paychecks, he's gonna be like, "Oh man, I signed a terrible deal." All right, Lee.
Wow.
Lee, you are up. It doesn't have to be WNBA.
Hey, fellas. How's it going?
What up?
Just got a few things. I know Giannis is probably not gonna go to the Knicks, but wouldn't it be pretty awesome? Be like Patrick Ewing 2.0 with his like a size and how he could work with OG and stuff. I think it would be pretty fun to watch, even if it doesn't come true. I don't know. What do you guys think?
If Giannis would love New York. I think he would love New York as a city, as a player. The media would eat him up with his damn dad jokes. I think it would be a match made in. I'd love him on my Lakers, but it would be amazing because the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. and this would keep them good because they're good now. This would keep them good for years.
I think it'd be a good fit too with his size and his energy and everything. But a couple other things, I'll tell a joke, and then I usually show an album before I tease. The joke is the guy's walking down the street. He sees a lamp. He rubs the lamp, and the genie comes up. He's like, "All right, you got 3 wishes, but whatever you choose, your mother-in-law will get a little bit more, like 50% more." And he goes, "All right." And he's like, "I want a house." She's like, "All right, you got a big house, but she's got a bigger house." He's like, "Cool." It's like, "I want lots of land." She's like, "All right, you got lots of land, but she's got a lot more." He's like, "All right, beat me half to death."
Winner, chicken dinner right there. Yes, sir. That means she's going to get an even bigger ass whooping. I love that.
I love my mother-in-law. She's a great cook.
I love that.
And I would never do that to her, but
This
that's
is
fun.
for chill. This is for chill.
Nice. All right.
Is
Old
that
Blue
you, big
Eyes.
Sinatra fan, Chill?
I am. I dig Old Blue Eyes. He's from
Really?
Jersey. Yeah, he's from Jersey.
I did not know that. I did not know
he's
that.
Moboken.
He was
Old
the
Blue
first
Eyes.
artist to ever create a concept album.
Mm-hmm.
Before him, everybody just did singles, and he was the first one to be like, "No, I want this to be about like New York, or I want this to be about like whatever the theme is." So,
cool.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's all I got.
All right, brother. Good to talk to you. Yep.
Jay.
Joe knows ball. Hold on for a second, Tone. Joe, what are you talking about? Like, why is LeBron promoting Hennessy but not the WNBA? That's not his job to promote the WNBA. He doesn't get anything from that financially to promote the WNBA. That's the NBA's job. Why is James responsible for promoting the WNBA? Is it his job to also promote the NBA too? Is it his job to promote college basketball too? Like, is that really his job?
Basketball, that's not his job.
But I never played in the WNBA neither. So why is that my job?
That's what he should do. He should go identify and go play in the WNBA. He could dominate that league for 20 years.
Why am I doing? I don't understand why I'm.
He'd be the greatest ever if he played in the WNBA.
Joe knows ball. I mean, are you okay, my man? Is everything all right with you? I just want to make sure that you're all right. So, I mean, why are we? Hold
on. The NBA. Hold on. The NBA does own like 42% of the WNBA. So, as an NBA player, as the face of the NBA.
Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, all right. So why weren't you guys saying the same thing when Shaq was the face of the league, when Bryant was the face of the league, when Jordan was?
They didn't own the WNBA back then. They didn't own 42% of it.
Okay, so how was the WNBA operating when in 1997, when in 1996 when it first started? How was it operating?
They were just their own separate league.
It was an independent league. Okay, so with it being an independent league, why wouldn't you? Let's just say for the sake of argument that this is an independent league. What is my vested interest in promoting the WNBA? Because I play in the NBA, and the NBA is a part of the WNBA. I don't understand why I have to do that. Because last I checked, I don't see WNBA chicks on the sideline at NBA games on the regular. I don't see that.
They don't need it. And you wouldn't recognize them anyways. But you wouldn't need them there. Hey,
so why is this why is this my problem? I don't understand why this is my problem.
How do you feel? How do you feel about WNBA players and fans referring to the NBA as the MNBA?
That'd be awful.
They're doing it. I'm asking you, how do you feel about them saying if we're the WNBA, then they're the MNBA?
We don't need to identify as the MNBA. You know what it is. This is the men's league. And that's the women's league. What the hell? What are we doing here? No.
I'm just telling you what they're doing. All right, Jay, we're gonna talk some Celtics.
Actually, I was gonna bring some football in this.
Let's go. Yes,
I'm gonna bring some football.
Picks. We're gonna make some football picks too.
Let me get your thoughts on Caleb, Fluent. I gotta know what's going on with your Bears. You all in on this kid?
Listen, I'm not. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I am never going to believe in a Bears quarterback ever. Even if they win a Super Bowl, I still will not be fully in on any Bears quarterback. So I am hopefully optimistic, and that's as best as it'll go.
That's as best as it'll go?
Yep.
Even if he's like the first 4,000 passing yard quarterback, which he seems to be on track for.
He could win an MVP a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP, I will still not be fully sold on any Bears quarterback.
Did you watch any games in Week 5? Any Week
I
5
watched
games?
tons of games in Week 5. Absolutely.
Are there any like dark horse teams that you're looking out for? You're like, oh, this team is going to be dangerous in the NFC or the AFC.
You know which teams actually? His guy, who I would call Danny No Dimes, I would be worried about the Colts, and I don't know what I saw out of that generational talent, Trevor Lawrence last night.
Oh boy.
Or is it last night? Was last night Monday? Yeah, last night.
It was last night.
The Jags and the Colts are going to surprise some teams. I don't know, man.
I can't believe it. He fell twice to the ground, and that D line couldn't.
I don't know how he still got up and ran in that touchdown. And still, I'll tell you. And still, I was expecting Mahomes to lead a comeback with like 20 seconds left. I still thought they were going to pull it off.
Seriously?
Yeah, 100%.
You thought there's no way you thought that, Chill. You didn't think that.
They got Patrick Mahomes. Why wouldn't I think that? Why wouldn't I? They have Patrick Mahomes.
20 seconds left.
I've seen him do it in other situations. Yeah.
20 seconds.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I'll tell you? I'll tell you one. I told you ones to watch out for. Here, I'll give you one that's fool's gold. This guy's Niners. Fool's gold.
They are
numero uno in the NFC. Suck it, baby. Gold. After we beat Tampa this weekend.
Yeah, sure.
Number one.
Off a hired gun.
After number
hired gun.
Joe, I don't want to hear none of your bullshit because you couldn't stand Mac Jones when he was with the Patriots. So
he was trash. He was trash.
Right. So now all of a sudden he's a hired gun for the 49ers.
He is a hired gun. Did you just say the Niners were going to be drafted by y'all?
What did you just say?
After Sunday, after we beat Tampa, number one, we're already number one in the NFC. But after Sunday, when we beat Tampa, we will be solidified. We'll be 5-1.
So what I'm hearing today, what I'm hearing you say today is you believe that whoever is going to be the quarterback of the 49ers, with all their bumps and bruises and fool's gold, you think they're going to go in and beat MVP Baker Mayfield?
Tone, I don't want to hear a word out of you about butter.
MVP.
I'm not
MVP.
If the MVP was Baker. Are we playing in San Francisco or are we playing in Tampa?
No, it's in Tampa. Mm-hmm.
It's in Tampa? Tampa. You really think you're going to beat them in Tampa?
Why not? We beat them last time we played them in Tampa, and it's great weather down there. It's really nice this time of year. It's not like we're going into a bad weather situation where it's freezing cold or something like that. Why can't we beat them down there?
Because they're building.
Because those pirate ships are scary. That's why.
You're right. Because Tampa doesn't lose in their building. They just rolling in their building. Give me a break.
The West Coast
Ibuka is going to go. He's going to put up 130 yards on y'all, bro.
West Coast teams coming east. West Coast teams coming east. It's never a good thing.
Chill. I got a question for you.
Hold on. Sorry, one second. You haven't stopped eating for 2 hours. What is going on with you? You bulking up. What is happening?
I've been nibbling on these chips. That's what I've been doing, Tom.
I'm in a hotel room. I don't have snacks. You're gonna make me go down to the stupid lobby and pay $18 for a bag of chips.
I've got hot Cheetos downstairs. I'm gonna go grab some actually.
So,
Chill.
All I know
I've got a question for you. Oh, what do you want to say, Chill? Sorry.
All I know is that after Sunday, after we beat Tampa, who has been rolling, by the way, and I've sold you consistently, Tone, on Baker Mayfield. You have not been a Baker Mayfield guy. In fact, you call him butter. I think he's got the most fourth quarter comebacks, 23 now. 23 he has now. Excuse me, has under my throat. 23. And because he's got that, he can definitely keep you in. If you can keep the game close, he gets in the fourth quarter. I love his decision making. I love his ability to scramble. He knows how to get to the first down marker. On top of that, he's a great clock manager. I love that about him. He will, however, make mistakes. I do love that about him. He definitely will make mistakes. And because he'll make mistakes, I think my defense is good enough to force that with him. We did the same thing with the Rams. You saw what happened at the one when they were trying to punch it in. We got a fumble at the 1 yard line. I think we can do the same thing with Baker Mayfield. I think we got to rush. I think we got to consistently rush him. What I don't want to do is I don't want to rush him with 8 or 9 guys and stack the box, because he's going to end up blowing right through that and he's going to carve us up. If I could keep him in the pocket for a little while and make him make decisions, I think that's where we can get him tripped up at. That part right there.
But wouldn't it just be negated because he's a really good fourth quarter quarterback, though?
It would be negated if we were up, though. I think that's the difference. Mm-hmm.
Look, as of right now, I kid you not, regardless of what I've said about Baker, Baker is playing at an elite level right now. He has been the best quarterback in the NFL this season. And if you're looking at Niners and Bucks, I know you're picking the Niners because you're a fan. I'm telling you as an impartial person who you know how I feel about Baker Mayfield, the Bucks are going to solidify their spot as a team to worry, especially the Eagles, because it's their conference to lose. They're going to make a statement. It's going to be a statement game against a very good but hurt 49ers team.
Who's injured with the 49ers right now? Who's injured?
Who isn't injured?
Who isn't injured?
George injured right now?
Who?
Is George injured right now?
Yes, everybody. George has been out almost a month, so he's still another week away. Our quarterback is hurt. Our wide receiver, we still haven't gotten Brandon Ayuk back. C-Mac is banged up. He's not 100%.
I'll go through the list for you.
Mm-hmm.
Watkins is questionable. Purdy is questionable. Purcell's questionable. Jennings is questionable. And Beal Jr. all questionable. And those are just the ones who might make a comeback this week.
So, meanwhile, we still find ways to win. So,
Chill, I've got one more question for you, Chill. I had this conversation with you a while back about who you think the best quarterback to ever do it was, and you think it's Joe Montana. I don't understand why you brought up this point about his passer rating in all his Super Bowls.
No, I didn't. I didn't say anything about passer rating. I said undefeated in the bowl game, no interceptions. I did say that though.
But I don't think it's fair to bring that up though.
Why? Because Tom Brady was undefeated in the bowl game.
When you're talking about a guy who's played less than half of the championships from the other guy, I mean, why would we bring that?
You can't ask a 49ers fan why he has Joe Montana as the greatest quarterback of all time.
What are we doing? That's like asking a Patriots fan why Tom Brady is the best ever. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to disprove it. Like, why you would ever even think this?
You always try to what you always try to do when you try to debate me is you try to disprove my logic, and you can't do it. You got a lot of work to do as a debater, sir. A lot. You're not there yet. You're getting close though. You are. You're getting close.
All I can do is get better, Chill. That's all I can do.
You're getting close, brother. You are. You're getting close.
All I can do is keep
working, brother. Good to talk to you. We appreciate it. No doubt.
All right, have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good night.
Absolutely.
All right. I'm just gonna randomly pick three NFL games because we only got like 9 minutes left. We'll make 3 picks and then we'll call it a night, and I'll go sleep on a lumpy bed. Not true, actually. It's very nice. I'm staying at a very nice hotel. We'll do the Thursday nighter just because it's a Thursday nighter. Should be an easy pick. Eagles and Giants in New York.
Yeah, I'll take Philly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think everyone's got Philly. I'm trying to look for games that most of the games are like. This is actually, if you think, there's not a lot of good games. Like Bengals
this
and
weekend.
Packers. Yeah, like Bengals and Packers would be a good game, but the Bengals stink right now, right? They're just garbage.
They did just trade for Joe Flacco, so let's see what that's about.
Yeah, sure. That's gonna help. The Broncos and Jets, right? The Jets are 0-5. No one cares.
And it ain't it's not because of Justin either. He's actually been playing really well.
He's actually played well. The Browns and Steelers. The Browns stink. The Chargers and Dolphins. The Dolphins are hot garbage. The Patriots and Saints. Listen, the Saints are tanking for Manning. Let's just be honest. They're going to have another Arch Manning starting as their quarterback, which I think is actually great. I love this stuff.
Good, Tom. Unfortunately, he's not that good.
Yeah, I know, but it's better than what they got. Rams and Ravens. I can't believe I'm saying this. The Ravens stink right now. They are trash. Cardinals and Colts actually might be an okay game. But I think the Colts are just rolling right now. I think Danny Dimes, like what?
Tone, but here's the thing and what is it about Danny Dimes today, right? What is it about Danny Dimes today that that's swaying you with him? Because when I talked to you about Danny Dimes years ago, and I told you that wasn't a self-proclaimed name, right? When I told you that, you were out on Daniel Jones, OUT out. When I told you that the Giants were ruining him, that they had wrecked him, you weren't buying it. You thought he stunk. You had him in the same tier with Baker Mayfield in terms of stinkability. You thought he was garbage. Right. What's hey, that's the thing. What's selling you now, Tone?
Because I'm not really sold. I'm not sold on him. What I'm saying is he and the Colts are playing well. That's all. Everybody, listen. Ryan Fitzpatrick wasn't a great quarterback, but when he started rolling, he was rolling. And you got to give him credit when he's rolling. But no one ever said that's going to be a great court. Like, no, he just Fitzmagic had his moments. He's having his run, and you're going to see by the end of the season, I'll be telling you, oh yeah, wow, they started off 5-1, and here they are at 9-8. Ooh, like. It's not going to last. It's
first and foremost, I love how they've put together that offense. I think Jonathan Taylor is one of the best running backs in the league.
When did Danny Dimes look good? When he had Saquon Barkley running at his best.
Yes.
Why does he look good now? Because Jonathan Taylor's doing a great job. That doesn't mean he's a good quarterback. It just means that, hey, when he's got a running back who he can rely on, he doesn't screw it up enough. Awesome. Like that's what's happening right now. And Jonathan Taylor's on my fantasy team. So let's continue having a lot. I am 5-0. Shout out to from the sidelines. Show on Sports Fluent. Yeah, I'm the only one that's undefeated. That being said, here's a game. Here's a game because we're only got 5. Seahawks and Jags. Are the Jags for real? This is going to be a test.
That defense is for real, Tone. I'll tell you that. That defense is 100% for real. Yes, it is. No doubt. And the fact that Seattle coming down here, I think they're going to handle them. Right?
Are you going to go to the game?
I'm actually, I think that I'll be back on Saturday after, I think I'll be back on Saturday. I want to go to, because the 49ers play Tampa.
Yeah.
Sunday. So I'd actually like to go to that game.
That's only a few hours away, right?
It's like 3 hours on the other side of the state.
When I was in Tampa, you drove up and saw me, so that's why I figured it wasn't that far.
Yeah, it ain't that far away.
You should go to that game for sure. Do you want me to call up anybody, get you some tickets?
Hey, if you know somebody over there, that'd be dope. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Let me
see what I can do.
If you know somebody over there, I will definitely make a trip to. I will definitely make a trip to Tampa. If you know somebody over there, make it happen.
All I know is try my best. But not me, so I can't guarantee nothing. You come to my city. You didn't even hit me up to grab a beer. But anyways, I digress.
That is not true.
He was walking around town shooting videos with people. Never said what's up. Cowboys and Panthers.
I've never been to Toronto one time. He's lying. Don't let him tell you.
I didn't say you. I said you let your cousin come here. And
I thought you said me. I was about to be like, wait a minute. That's not true.
you know you're coming. I know when you come, we're gonna hang out.
No way I'm coming up there, and I ain't going to try to find my man.
We are back to my thing. So we got Cowboys and Panthers. They both stink. Titans and Raiders. They both stink. Obviously, we talked about the Niners and Bucks enough. Lions and Chiefs. That actually might be a good game, but I still got the Lions.
I got a question for you, Tone. Is it ridiculous for me to think that Kansas City can miss the playoffs this year?
No.
That's not ridiculous for me to think that.
No, it's not ridiculous at all. It's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that because the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes will have the same. Listen, people talk about Tom Brady the GOAT, Tom Brady the GOAT. There was a 10-year span where they didn't go to the Super Bowl. They didn't win the Super Bowl. They weren't great all the time. So this is just that section. He started off amazing. They went to a bunch of AFC championship games. They went to a bunch of Super Bowls. They won a bunch of Super Bowls. Now there's the lull. Now it's can they, rebuild it, refurbish the team, and make another run. That's going to dictate whether Patrick Mahomes goes down as, a guy who started great or is an all-time great. I think you're right. Like people crowned him as the GOAT, but he's got more work to do. Bears. Okay, Monday night. There's 2 games on Monday night. Bills and Falcons.
Buffalo redeems himself because
Agreed.
after what happened with the Patriots, who have looked really good. Drake May does not suck, Tone. No, he doesn't. Drake May does not suck.
No, he does not.
I like their running game, and I like the fact that Mike Vrabel is looking at this crew and he's looking at Drake May as a viable quarterback. And whatever he knows how to do, we doing that. Whatever he doesn't know how to do, we're not doing that. I'm watching him roll out. When he rolls out, especially to his right, when he rolls out to his right, it's real short stuff. 5-yard outs. He's not throwing over. He's not throwing across his body. And I think Coach Vrabel, I think that's the part of his game that he wants to keep in. It's quick stuff. 3-step drop, slant. 3-step drop, curl, stuff like that. And a 5-step drop, he gets out of the pocket really quickly. I think I like how they developing him in New England. I'm gonna take New England over Atlanta on Monday Night Football. Yes, I am.
Buffalo.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take Buffalo over Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Pennick at all. I think his reads are really tricky. Left-handed quarterbacks, as much as I dug Steve Young, left-handed quarterbacks were always tricky for me because it looked like an unorthodox throw because you're throwing the ball the opposite way. So I'm used to a right-handed quarterback and you're throwing the ball left-handed. All right. So with that being said, I think his reads are slow. I don't think that he uses his check down nearly as much because Robinson is the real deal. And he doesn't get him the ball. He doesn't get him the ball nearly as much. With that being said, I think Pennick is is it Penix? Is that his name? I want to make sure I'm saying his name right.
Penix. Yeah. Sorry,
Penix.
I'm crying over here as Aaron Judge. Why would you pitch to him? Just hit a 3-run home run to tie the game 6-6.
Oh my goodness, Tom.
Don't pitch to him.
Wow. Anyways.
I'm
gonna take Buffalo. I think they redeemed themselves from the loss against New England. I think they back to their running game with Cook, and I think Josh Allen takes better care of the football. I think their defense steps up too. So I'm going to take Buffalo.
Last one, and then we're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the Chicago Bears played against the Washington Commanders, and Jaden Daniels threw a ridiculous Hail Mary at the end of the game to break the Bears didn't win another game after that heartbreaking loss.
Wrecked them.
They need to dominate Washington this week. I'm taking my Bears in Washington. Don't you say anything other than you agree. All right.
Well,
sign us off. So if you otherwise sign us off, we're done. We're done.
Well, as I was saying, Jaden, he's healthy. I do like your defense, and I love your pass rush, Tone. I do.
Me too.
I love your defense, and I love your pass rush.
That's who we are. That's what, like, the Bears have. The only way we win. That's why I say I don't believe in any of the quarterbacks. We win when we have a superior defense and a running game. So let's stop trying to reinvent it and follow everybody else in the league with a good quarterback. No. Just running back, defense, and bring back the Honey Bears. I don't know if you know this. They won the Super Bowl, and Mrs. McCaskey, whatever the hell her name is, she got rid of the Honey Bears, the cheerleaders, and we never won a Super Bowl since.
Since then.
The curse of the Honey Bear.
Let's get the cheerleaders back in here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the cheerleaders back in here. Tone, how you feel about the really quickly? I know we got to get out of here soon, but Tone, how do you feel about the development of Caleb? Like, what are you seeing from him that you're going, all right, I think we on to something?
It's the opposite. It's the
opposite. You don't think you're on to something?
No. It's what I see is, man, we're trying to screw him up like we did every other quarterback, but he's talented and he's finding ways to be better than how he's being coached. Because Justin Fields looked much better. outside of Chicago. Every quarterback just looks better outside of Chicago. If we drafted Patrick Mahomes instead of Mitch Trubisky,
you would have wrecked him. You would have wrecked him.
We would have said, you know, why did they, you know, reach for this Patrick Mahomes kid? He stinks, right? Like, and that's just the curse of the Bears. And so I think he's not developing because of the Bears. I think he's playing well despite of the Bears.
Right. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is when you see me and my man Tony Tone. We do this every Tuesday night right here on the Chilltown Hoops and Sports Fluent Network. Every week, we will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? I just was with my mother this weekend. It just passed. Call your mother. We'll see you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys. This was super dope,
I miss my soundboard. Do you miss the soundboard? Because I'd have music right now. It'd be like, thank
Fluent and chill, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every legend is away. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.